back at it with part 2 of the adversity series. And this one's about how to deal with negative adversity. Again, since you came up with these mind nuggets, why don't you take this?
Okay.
We set the stage for negative adversity, kind of took an internal, external view of it and how they can piggyback off of each other. What do we do to solve this thing?
Yeah, so laying it out to try and keep myself organized, because when I outlet my thoughts, usually it's really messy, and so I need to help do that.
To peel back the curtain a little bit.
Yeah.
We should be okay at this because we literally just got done recording the last one.
Yes. So identifying the negative adversity, you have the internal negative and the external negative.
Yes. One usually can lead to the other.
Right, yeah. They can be intertwined, but it is helpful to try and identify and trace the cord back to the wall, so to speak.
Divide and conquer.
Right. So internally, how do you deal with? Well, I would say let's do external first, right?
You want to? I don't care. Sure.
I don't know why. It just makes more sense to go external than internal.
Well, you're extroverted.
Probably. That's what's funny is I'm extroverted, you're introverted. I was the one that was like, external is this, and you were like, internally this. So that's super fun.
Yeah, it was playing to the cliches.
Yeah, I know.
So you're talking about external adversity. How are we handling this?
External adversity. Okay, so for me, a lot of the times it's as simple as just ignoring stuff, and that sounds so
the guy thing.
Honestly, yeah, it sounds really
the empty box.
It sounds wrong, right? It's like it sounds like if there's a problem, you're supposed to fix it, you're supposed to address it, but sometimes there's no benefit to it. It's a meaningless task. There's an episode of my favorite show, The Office, where he has these kids searching around in bays of hail for the needle in the haystack.
Yeah, he didn't even hide it.
Well, no, it's in there, and this kid goes, I found the needle in the haystack. And he goes, congratulations, your prize is nothing. Life lesson, some tasks are not worth doing.
That's funny. I thought he didn't hide it. I don't know why I had a wrong memory on that one.
No, that's one of those things. Is like, so, yeah, some of that like external adversity can be hard, but it's not beneficial in any way. So just ignore it. Like, if a person wants to chirp at you and insult you, just be like, okay. Like, what are they gonna do? What are they really doing to you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, what? You're not dragging me down. You're saying mean things, and I could let that hurt my feelings, but then like, I'm focused on this, so I'm not gonna take time away from that to be angry at you. You know what I mean? There's no productivity here.
Yeah.
And so some of the best ways to deal with external adversity is to just let it go. Now, if you're in a workplace setting and somebody's just like annoying you, maybe it is beneficial to go to them and be like, look, hey, you know,
we're in a box in the parking lot. You know?
Stop. Or you know, maybe go the route of talking to HR and be like, hey, can we do something about this or something? You know, there's all kinds of different ways to deal with getting it to stop, but like sitting down with that person, and if their goal is just to drag you down or be negative, or if they're just an energy leech on you, then just avoid them, you know? And it's as simple as that.
So now I'm gonna heap a bunch of burning coals onto this.
Oh.
What if this person is a family member and you cannot escape the premises?
I don't know.
You kind of have to have the conflict, don't you?
I feel like that might be necessary. So when I look at the external negative conflict, if it's something that you don't have to do.
Yeah, so if it's work or school, you can kind of get away a lot of the times with doing what you're saying.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite method.
Is just let it go.
Yeah, why am I going to be concerned about whatever problem you have created?
And that's hard. That's not just flip it. You can't just, that's really hard to understand in your head. Everything that you're saying and doing and trying to drag me down to do is unnecessary. Now, the scenario that you laid out, where what if it's a family member, somebody that's in your way, that might be what I would consider like adversity you have to overcome and deal with and stuff, and you can't just kind of.
Yeah, that's got to be one you got to talk to your
because
brother.
Then they are in your way, and in order to get to your goal, you got to get past them. But people that are dragging you away from your goal for no reason, I feel like that's just things that you don't need to get bogged down in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so to fix the other one, when it's a person you have to talk to, that's a case by case. And again, we could talk about all of the variables of that forever. You know, that could be like questions people would ask. So since we're running with this trend, I'll talk about the internal then.
Yeah.
The happy accident, right?
Right.
The internal adversity, a lot of times, simple as this, as cliche as it sounds, is suck it up, get the job done. That's really, when you're dealing with yourself, that's ultimately the best way to take care of that, is you are the thing. So you have to be like, get out of your own way and charge into this thing and get it taken care of and get it done. No one cares how much it hurts. It just hurts you. There's no reason to complain. It's not going to change anything. If it's physically demanding, if it's not killing you, you're not losing a limb, you're not making yourself unnecessarily sick to the point to where your health is desperately suffering, but you suffer a little bit of physical or emotional or mental, anguish to some degree for trying to right a wrong that's in yourself. You gotta just do it. You gotta just bite that bullet and get it done, because nobody's gonna peel that band-aid of your wounds off you but yourself, and let the air touch it to heal. And the best way to heal, like when you injure yourself and there's physical therapy, as soon as you can start moving that thing post-surgery, or if you don't have to have surgery, it doesn't matter. As soon as you can start moving your elbow, your knee, your hip, your neck, you got to start moving it. And it hurts, but you want blood. With new blood comes nutrients and oxygen and all this stuff that the area that needs to heal gets. If you sit stagnant and you're just stagnant in your self-loathing and despair, and you're allowing your self-imposed adversity that's no good for you sit there and constantly block you, it is like as if you have an injured part of your body and you're not doing any physical therapy. In order to move this to get the blood flowing back into the area, like my elbow hurts still, but I'm working on and away with it consistently. That doesn't aggravate it, but it doesn't really feel great. But I know from these years of training now that I can get away with this. This is actually good, and more so, instead of getting away with it, this is actually helpful.
Yeah.
And you need to learn how to do that with yourself. When you're pushing too hard, when you're pushing too much, where you're going to burn yourself out, where you're really going to be hurting and fatigued mentally and emotionally over this. And so you got to know how to do that, and you get stronger and you get better. A lot of people expect these types of things. This goes for both, internal and external, that you're going to be really good at this. And if you're not really good at this, well, then I'm not a person that's good at confrontation. Well, none of us are really good at who's good at confrontations?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody's necessarily good at that. And who's good at the self-care? Nobody's great at it, okay? There's areas of your self-care that you'll be shocked that you have certain areas where you're callous, where other people aren't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, what? Like, some people cannot live in a messy house. And then some people, like me, don't care, right? And then some people, there's like all these different things that are just like, so like, that bothers me, but I can go and put myself through a restrictive eating diet in a hard training routine and not bat an eye at it. Where somebody else, that's like the end of the world for them, but they have to have their house clean, let's say, like, Rain Man level. I don't know if he did that, but you know what I'm saying, like neurotically cleaning stuff. To whereas I'm like, kind of like, I'm not uncomfortable, it's good enough. But then when it comes to my body, it's like, yeah, let's push further beyond this point to where some people are like, whoa, So we have these different degrees there too of how we're callous in different areas, and I'm rambling at this point, but I'm looking at the time and I want to wrap this up. So to just tie a bow around that, again, there's degrees of how you're dealing with your external and the severity and how that matters to you, and then the internal is the same way. And ultimately, what I want to say near the end here is that we got to get better at identifying the degree of importance also. That's one more thing I want to put on all of this, is to say that you need to analyze the degree of importance too, and find out what areas you really need to get into to get your hands dirty and get the job taken care of. With that being said, I'm looking at that thing. It's running up on 10 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and say bye for the how to handle negative adversity video. So take it easy, our friends, and until next week, peace.